Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
My name's Ryan Stamer with ADP.
Trent Weaver.
You must be Trent, yeah.
I'm Trent, how are you doing?
I'm scheduled to meet with Beverly at 10 o'clock today. Do you know if she's around?
Well, Beverly actually texted me that you were coming. Matter of fact, she set up 3 appointments that she's out sick today, and she asked me to fill in. So
I'm sorry to hear that. Is she all right?
Oh yeah, she's fine. I'm sure just some normal sickness. So I tell you what, go ahead and have a seat.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You bet.
I appreciate you taking the time to fill in for her today. Do you mind if I close this?
You know what? I tell you what. Let's go. Let me give you a nickel tour. I want to get some coffee.
All right.
Come on. We're going to take a tour. Just leave your stuff here.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Come on.
Where are we going?
As you can see, we've got a pretty large facility. Go ahead and have a seat.
Sure, thank you. Appreciate that.
You bet. Tell you what, we're out of coffee, but I think some water over here for you. And
thank you.
Some
I
water
appreciate
for you.
that.
Absolutely. Kind of been running hard this morning, so I just want to kind of catch up with you for a few minutes. Usually it's kind of the reverse. Beverly gets to meet with folks, and then I kind of put a stamp of approval on it. And since she's out, we're kind of flip-flopping it around. So I'd love to just kind of talk with you and grab some water here. And sorry we're out of coffee, but
not a problem.
Yeah. Well, so tell me.
I appreciate you taking the time to fill in for Beverly today. When I spoke with her, she mentioned that she had about 20 minutes for her meeting. Does that still work for you?
I can make that happen.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. And you mind if I use these to take some notes since I don't have my stuff with me?
Sure, you're welcome to. I mean, I'm really just interested in talking and chatting and finding more out about you.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so you from the Atlanta area?
I'm not. I'm not from here.
Okay.
But I want to let you know that since this is our first time meeting, I wanted to give you my business card, which I have with me right here. So should you have any questions after our meeting today, please don't hesitate to reach out.
You got it.
I want to let you know that before we get started into it, I have a friend named Justin who recently opened up a small business.
Okay.
And he needs somebody to do the printing on his new logo. And since that's right up your alley, I thought I'd provide you with his contact information so you could get ahead and do that for him.
We always love leagues.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got plenty of kids to pay for,
when I
appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. When I mentioned to him that I was coming by today, he was really excited about the opportunity of working with you. So feel free to shoot him an email after this. I'll make sure to give you his card on my way out.
Fantastic. I appreciate that, Ryan.
So how long have you been with Pops Promotions, Trent?
Well, I've owned the company for about 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And how's business been going lately?
Well, it's not too bad. So, we had a recession from 08 through about 13. And so, we just been kind of plugging along and just keep moving forward.
Well, hey, I'm glad to hear things are going well.
Absolutely.
What are you responsible for on a day-to-day basis here?
Largely in part a lot of corporate sales, and then just some of the overall general operations and flow. So
you're in charge of the overall direction of the firm.
You bet. Okay. You bet. Yeah.
And Beverly mentioned that she's the one who's handling payroll. Is that correct?
She has been.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something that we've kind of been taking a look at, and so she had set up some meetings. I met with our accounting firm this morning, which kind of does our quarterly taxes, and then she scheduled somebody else to come in after you today, and so she kind of loaded my schedule up when I didn't know it was loaded. But
that's not a problem.
It's something we're definitely taking a look at, so we thought we'd get some time. So
well, I'm glad to hear that. What else is Beverly doing aside from payroll?
Well, she's doing a lot of AR and a lot of AP, so accounts payable, accounts receivable, and then some of the general bookkeeping items that take place.
Okay, well, thanks for getting me up to speed.
Sure.
As an owner, I'm sure you're very busy, so what I'm going to do in order to be most efficient of your time today is dive right into a few questions about your company, how you're doing your payroll and HR, just to see if there's any challenges you might be facing that we could help you out with at ADP. Okay. And if things make sense, we can talk about the next steps from there.
Okay.
Does that sound like a good use of your time?
Sure.
Okay. And with 20
now,
minutes...
do you have kids?
I do not. No, I do not.
No kids yet? Okay.
Yeah, but do you?
I've got 4.
4 kids, wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll take any orders I can get.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah. And does 20 minutes still work for you today?
It did. It worked a few minutes ago.
Gotcha, just making sure.
There you go.
I know you're busy. So at ADP, we tend to help our clients out in 3 main areas. I want to give you a brief overview. So it comes down to management of cash, people, and risk. So cash being your payroll process, people being your HR system, and risk making sure you're in compliance with federal and state tax laws. So those are the solutions that we offer that bring value to businesses like yours. Okay. And I know we only have a limited time today, so which of those do you think would be most important for us to talk about?
I'm trying to create some time for Beverly, so I would assume payroll.
Payroll? I'll make sure to touch on that specifically. And if we decide that any of ADP services made sense today, Trent, would anyone else need to be here for us to move this decision process forward?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna probably flip you back to Beverly because
Okay.
she's the nuts and bolts of it, and then again, I kind of wanted to get to know you. How long have you been with ADP?
So I've been with ADP for less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that defined as a rookie?
No, I don't believe so.
No?
I actually completed an extensive training program specifically to help me meet the needs of small businesses.
Okay.
So within the firm, I'm a small business consultant.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Now, I know you mentioned that we'd need to speak with Beverly if we wanted to move forward, but since you're the owner of the firm, what are some of the decision criteria that you're going to value if you were to consider a new payroll system?
I mean, it's because it's going to still flow through Beverly, whatever her responsibilities are going to be, related to outsourcing it. I mean, I would assume, ease and efficiency.
Okay. So ease is really important to Beverly. It sounds like she's got a lot on her plate.
Well, I mean, we're just, when we run payroll, it certainly takes up, her time, and so I'm trying to cut that back so she can spend more time collecting. We get a lot of people that slow pay us in this industry, so we got to stay on them with phone calls and that sort of thing. So.
Of course, and that's really important. Yeah. Well, just so I understand some of the key facts about your firm, how many employees do you have right now?
We've got 40.
40. So how's business been? Are you planning on growing that into the future?
Well, with the way things are from a standpoint of going over 50, I'll probably stay under 50.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I incur some big expenses when you cross 50.
And are you paying weekly or bi-weekly right now?
We pay bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly. Okay. And when I spoke with Beverly on the phone, she mentioned that she was possibly looking to outsource. So do you know why now all of a sudden she's looking to do that?
Well, I mean, we've been in business for 20 years, and she's been with me for about 17 of those, and so, we probably were about to add, but when we dropped in sales, because of recession, we just didn't tackle it, and the last 3 or 4 years, we've been growing again. So, I mean, it's one of those things where she said, "Hey, I need some help," and so, I kind of authorized her to do that.
So what system is Beverly currently using to process payroll?
QuickBooks.
And how's that working for her?
Well, I mean, it functions and it does fine. I mean, been using QuickBooks for a long time, so.
So she's used to it.
Yeah, very, very used to it.
Is there any challenges that that she might be facing?
She just mentions the time.
Okay.
We've got an electronic download of the hours from the employees that go in, and but QuickBooks is good for a lot of things. It's not the most efficient when it comes to payroll and printing out checks and signing the checks and getting all that stuff done. So
you say it's not the most efficient. Could you elaborate more on that?
She would have to.
Okay.
She'd have to tackle that part.
You mentioned that she's spending a lot of time. Do you know about how much time she devotes to payroll a week?
I would probably say when payroll rolls around, on every other Friday, I mean, she probably starts at Thursday afternoon and spends, an initial hour, then probably does another, hour to hour and a half, the day of.
So about 2 hours a week she's spending?
Yeah, that'd be a good average.
Wow. So over the course of a year, she's spending 104 hours on payroll alone.
Sure.
That's a lot of time devoted towards just payroll.
It is, but you got to pay them. Your
employees
will produce it, so yeah.
So according to the Small Business Association, they actually value somebody in Beverly's position at about $60 an hour. Would you say that's about accurate?
No.
A little bit more?
I don't pay her $120,000 a year.
How much would you say her time is worth to you as the owner?
I think, I know what I pay her per hour, so you can put her between $20 and $30 an hour.
20, so let's say 25?
Okay.
So over the course of a year, in opportunity costs, you're looking at about $2,600 that is spent towards just payroll.
Okay.
What else could you be doing to put that revenue back into the business?
In terms of her time, I think it's making sure our vendors are paid on time and making sure people are paying us. So I think that's one of the things we've always got to pay our vendors in 30 days, and we don't always get paid in 30 days. So if we could kind of match that up, so if she could spend more time doing that, that'd be helpful.
That'd be important.
Yeah.
So aside from the time that she's spending in payroll, do you know how much you're paying for QuickBooks on an annual basis?
Really, it's typically, when you renew it about every 3 to 5 years, it's probably about a $5,000 expense.
So
once it kind of becomes out of date, you're kind of forced to spend about $5,000 to get the latest upgrade that will continue to function.
So would you say about $1,000 per year is accurate?
Yeah.
So if you add that to the $2,600 worth of her time, you're looking at about a $3,600 investment.
Sure.
Okay. And aside from that, the time she's spending in it, are there any other challenges she might be facing with that?
No, I mean, she just, just does her job. So, I tend to coordinate her sometimes, with some of the HR stuff that goes on.
Okay, and how's that working for you, the HR?
It's okay. I mean, we're not experts, so, but it's going okay. I mean, employees are a little bit different these days.
Of course. Could you elaborate more on the fact you're not experts? How's that going for you?
Well, I mean, it's just, when you go through the process, people are late, or if you've got, just other internal issues, maybe you got folks that can't get along and, in terms of the discipline and all that. So we just want to make sure we do it right and do it legal, because everybody tends to run and grab an attorney these days when they don't get their way. Yeah.
So you said have some issues. Could you elaborate a little bit more on what those are?
Well, I mean, you got guys that are maybe consistently late. Maybe they're missing too many days, and so you want to write them up in a proper way. So because we're below 50, we don't have an HR director, and we're not mandated to, and that'd be another $50,000, $60,000 ticket, from an employee standpoint. So
that's a current problem you're facing right now.
I mean, it's certainly an issue.
So what would happen if that problem were to continue into the future? How would that impact the business?
I mean, it's can you face some legal issues? I mean, you can face some legal issues if you don't do things right. So I mean, it's from a standpoint of maybe not disciplined properly. Maybe we're not corralling them, and getting them to understand what our expectations are in terms of tardiness and things of that nature. But we've got a pretty good core bunch of folks. We wouldn't be in business for 20 years if we didn't, but we still have out of 40 employees, you're always going to have probably 3 to 5 where there's a revolving door from a production standpoint. Yeah.
And transitioning to a tax standpoint, who's currently calculating those and filing those on your behalf?
Our local accounting firm, who I met with this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much are you paying them to handle that for you?
We're paying about $500 quarterly.
$500. So over the course of a year, $2,000.
Correct.
Okay. And let me ask you, Trent, if you were to experience a fine, who would be liable for paying that fine? Would it be the accounting firm, or would it be you as a local business?
On the quarterly taxes? That's a good question. I mean, probably have to ask since they're filing them and they're relying on our numbers.
Yeah.
But I mean, we provide them the numbers, so there might be some dual liability. I don't know. You might have to ask our attorney.
So you're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So what were to happen if you were to be?
I've never had an issue, so.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
So they must think we're doing it right, because they're going to kind of go through an audit check and make sure when they see that. That's part of their job, is to make sure when we pull down the FICA Fuda Suda, they're gonna make sure we're doing it right.
But they haven't let you know that they would cover that for you. You're not aware of that.
I've been working with them for for about 6 or 7 years, and they might have said it back at the beginning, but we have a good working relationship.
Okay. Well, we've talked about a lot already today,
Sure.
Trent. Just to highlight some of the key things you mentioned are going on in your business that are important to you. Beverly needs a system that's easy to use, first of all. She's got a lot going on, and we need to provide her something that's easy to use. She's spending a lot of time with that, and you're paying a lot, not only for the cost of the system, the cost to do your taxes, but in the cost that it takes Beverly to do the system and how much you pay her.
Right.
Is that correct? Is
Sure.
there anything else that's top of mind for you that we haven't discussed today?
Man, we're dealing with a bunch right here.
Yeah.
Things I didn't plan on this morning.
Well, you got a lot going on.
That's it. That's what I pay people for.
Well, if I were able to provide you with a system that would meet each of those criteria and help you out in those different areas, would you consider taking the next steps and setting up a time to meet with Beverly so I could show her that system?
I mean, to be honest with you, I had a really good meeting with these guys. They said they were willing to take over, the payroll. And in fact, we've got a working relationship with them. And
are you speaking of your accounting firm?
Yeah. I mean, I almost canceled this meeting this morning because I feel like I'm ready to just, kind of make it easy for Beverly, and she knows those guys too. So I mean, I think we're just looking to, probably switch things, but that's kind of the direction I'm headed.
So your concern is that you're not sure if it makes sense to partner with a company like ADP because you're already working with that accounting firm, and you might as well just go with them because you already have that relationship, correct?
Sure.
So why haven't you moved towards working with them already?
Well, that's what their meeting was about.
Okay.
She called them back in, not for quarterly taxes, but to talk to them about taking over payroll, because we had made an initial decision to move in that direction. She scheduled you, and then she scheduled another company after you. So, again, they happen to be the first ones out the gate, and guys that we know, because we're going to evaluate it. We've heard of the big companies out there, but we feel like, we'll be a small fish in a big pond. So. these guys know us.
Well, I want to let you know one of the benefits of partnering with ADP to you is that I'm going to be your local point of contact throughout this entire process. As a small business consultant, I specialize in working with companies of your size, so you're not going to be able to find a better partner that's going to be able to more efficiently meet your needs, because I've seen the problems that small businesses tend to face, and I'm going to be able to be proactive in making sure those don't happen for people like you.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
I mean, it does. I mean, we haven't gotten into the details of ADP, and
of course,
I mean, I've heard of you, but I don't know a lot of details about you.
Of course. So what would you like to know?
Well, I mean, you guys. I mean, I know that you're big, right? So I mean, how big are you?
Is that a concern for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, kind of going back to the small fish. So I mean, everybody that walks in says, "I'm going to be there," and I'm not going to sell this, to you, and then move on and go to the next skill, and I'll let my service people deal with you. So with our accounting firm, we've got some personal service going on there.
So as your local point of contact, I'm a small business consultant, like I said. So yes, ADP is a large company, but you might be surprised to know that over 60% of our clients are small businesses with less than 50 employees, just like yours.
Huh, okay.
So although we are a larger company, we actually specialize in working with businesses of your size. And the reason why that's beneficial to you is we're going to be able to effectively meet those needs that you talked about earlier, and provide you with a cost-effective solution. What would it mean to you if we could provide you with something that's going to be less than a third of what you're paying right now for your payroll system and to calculate your taxes?
Well, I like savings.
Savings are important to you.
Savings are important. And, as I mentioned, ease of use.
Ease of use.
Yeah. So, and if we can turn it over to those guys, or turn it over to you, or turn it over to the other guys, and save money, that's what we're looking for.
Well, I'll touch on ease of use and price.
Okay.
To go over price, you mentioned that you're spending about $2,600 in opportunity costs in the amount that it takes Beverly to use the system, correct? Factoring in the additional $1,000 that you're paying for the system about on an annual basis, and then the additional $2,000 that you're paying to calculate your taxes. So on an annual basis, you're coming up to about $5,600 to not only calculate those taxes, but spend that towards payroll.
Okay.
Does that all make sense?
It does.
So what would it mean to you if I could provide you with a solution that's going to do all of that for you within under $5 per day?
It means I probably would take a little deeper look.
Okay. Well, somebody in your price bracket for 50 employees typically runs payroll at about $61 per payroll. So if you divide that over the course of
61, so for 40 checks,
correct,
only $1 something a check.
It's going to be $4.35 per day to run payroll with us.
Okay.
And you've also mentioned that you're paying that company about $2,000 a year to handle those taxes for you, correct? The benefit of partnering with ADP is that we're one of the only bonded and insured companies in the industry. And I actually have with me here a bonded letter signed by the IRS. I left it in the other room when we transitioned.
Sure.
But what that means to you is that we're actually going to be responsible for up to $25 million per occurrence, like I said. So you're not going to have to worry about paying that firm $2,000, and that's going to provide you with effective cost savings.
Okay. All right.
What would that mean to your business to be able to generate that $2,000 back into the business?
Well, I mean, again, sounds like it. But again, I mean, I haven't seen the system. That may be something you got to show Beverly. I mean, so but bottom line is, I'm trying to free up time, and if we can save money in the process, great.
And I think that ease of use of the system is really important to Beverly. So what I recommend is that we move forward today and set up that next meeting with her so I could go ahead and show her the system, show her how easy it is to use.
Okay.
You might be surprised to know that at ADP, we don't expect payroll to last longer than 5 minutes. So she could do payroll per week on 5-minute basis, depending on the
5 minutes.
Yes, correct.
So you know the rule of thumb is to undersell and over-deliver, right?
Correct.
So if it takes her 7.
Well, you're spending 2 hours now, correct?
Correct.
So if she spent 7, how would that still be a benefit to you?
Huh? Oh, I'd certainly be saving time. I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, not a problem.
Only 5 minutes. That's pretty good.
Well, we've talked about how we're not only going to provide you with a cost-effective solution, but provide you with an easy way to do payroll for Beverly. So would you consider taking the next steps, and can we go ahead and set up that next meeting?
What do you guys do when you talk about ease? I mean, what do you do? I mean,
we provide you with a really easy mobile solution. It's called Run Powered by ADP.
Okay.
And it's something that she can access on her mobile device.
Okay.
And what I'll do in that next meeting is I'll go ahead and show her what it is, and it takes less than 5 minutes to run through it, and she'll be an expert by the time I'm out of there.
So it's on the mobile, or
it's on the mobile.
Obviously she She works at her desk most of the time.
Well, I know
you're saying if she happens to be absent and out sick.
Correct. She could go ahead and do it there. I know we're running short on time today, Trent, but what time do you think would work best next week for her?
You know what? Just reach back out to her. I'm sure she'll either be back in tomorrow or within by Wednesday.
Well, I'd love to have you in on that meeting. I'll go ahead and send a tentative calendar invite for say Wednesday. Would that work for you?
If I can make it, I'm usually if I'm not on sales calls.
Sure. I'll go ahead and send that to you, and we'll play it by ear.
That'd be great.
All right, thank you, Trent.
Awesome.
I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me.
You bet.